All right. Some Spectora bread and butter here. Web-based report. The report is your product. I think a lot of new inspectors that I've talked to over the years, Chance, some of them think, oh, just software, right? The report's the report.
Yeah, no, it's one of those. You can have inspector A and B have the same experience, the same exact report, but if you put me in a black and white PDF or an interactive report with videos, pictures, colors, I'm like a moth to a flame, man. I'm gonna go to that pictures of videos every time.
Yeah, and I think it's everyone now. It's like I know we highlighted the demographic here, but my dad uses Facebook. He's used to pictures and scrolling and high def stuff. So I think it's no longer even just generational. I think it's just where we're at that your report has to scream modern, usable, interactive. I think there's just no getting away from that. And so I think James, I don't think inspectors promote this enough because to Corey to like what you were saying about Corey C, right? We can't assume everyone in your market uses video, uses Spectora, right? I mean, these are real competitive advantages. If you walk in an agent's office, you're off to the races.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, if you're coming in and meeting with a new agent and you're explaining what makes you different, and to be able to say, in all, all my reports are interactive, they're web-based, they're laid out in a fantastic way. The agent very well may know if you just say it's a Spectora report, they might know and appreciate that. And then that's the above and beyond, right? Like, let's say that being a report is as good as Spectora reports are, is sort of the base level standard for the agent you're talking to, then that video is the next
Mm.
level. And be able to say, look, I make videos of any defects that I find, and I explain exactly what happens, if they don't repair it, how they may, what the route is to get that repaired, if that's a DIY or if that's a hire somebody or just a handyman. And really just, hammer home, like, this isn't a piece of paper we're handing off. And also because, hopefully you feel like this shouldn't just be a piece of paper you hand off. This shouldn't just be a transaction where you're just like, here's a
Mm.
bad, a bad report that has enough stuff on it that you're fine. You should be proud you're handing over your work and your expertise, and it gets productized into a report. So, starting a new business, ask yourself, like, how do you want to come off? Do you want to come off like you cut some corners, or do you want to come off like you decided to have the best in the business? If it costs you a few bucks more, I'd go with best in the business all day.
Yeah. And the future is interactive, web based. We're not going to tease too much, but there are features and things you will be able to turn on and enable for your clients in a web based report. You can't do that if it's just a PDF. So, like, I know that's an obvious one, but some inspectors, I think, still need to hear that definition of a PDF is static and it just gets stamped out once. Whereas we've popped in features overnight and inspectors have seen it in an interactive experience. And so that's the ability to be mobile and agile. Um, Here's just the difference. This is a real report on the left, guys. This was a inspector I used to use once upon a time, about 9-10 years ago when I was a realtor. This is a screenshot. I will not out him. He's not watching this anyway. He's never switching. But I mean, gosh, Chance, talk to me about the differences here when you talk about the moth to a flame. Like,
Oh, I'm overwhelmed to the left. I feel nauseous. I don't know what. I want the right. I can tell I'm looking at a roof already. I've just looked at the pictures. I don't need to do anything else. That's my house. Like it's just easier for me to digest. It might seem a little overwhelming if you're not familiar with a web-based report, but to your buyers, to me, that is less overwhelming than the other one.
and if you're going into an agent office, James, like, why not have a slide just like this to say, hey, if your current inspector uses one on the left, how do you filter for the most important defects to ask for concessions on? Like the red must do's, how would you pick those out? Whereas with me, it's one click right there on the defect safety button. So, like, we're kind of giving them marketing ammunition, right? At the end of the day, this isn't just use Spectora. It's more like market this.
Yeah, no, that's so powerful. And again, if you get into real estate, I feel like the goal many times is to be a luxury real estate agent of some sort. And that experience comes with a lot of things, right? That comes with driving around in the fancy car when you have your clients in there. It comes with, dressing nice and getting your pictures taken every 3 months, looking super hot and fine, right? But also, don't be the step that drops the ball on this, where you're dropping off this, terrifying PDF-ish report that doesn't even match the brand standards of the agents themselves. So, and the other thing that I'll say, and it's like the smallest thing that you can do in reporting software, but I also think it's so important. I would have no idea what's going on with those 3 pictures on the right if it wasn't for those arrows. Like, just being able to do good, if you're not even doing a video, just make sure the arrow's pointed, like is there, and it's pointed to the right thing, and your description's clear. It's going to make a homeowner feel like they know what the heck's going on the left. I wouldn't know what to do. My question would be, should I buy the house or not to my realtor? And then that'd be it.
That's a great point. I'm going to call you up and I'm going to waste 45 minutes of your day so that you can explain to me what I'm looking at. The one on the right, I'm not going to bother you because I know how to navigate it. So that's another thing is a better web report will save you time, not on the phone with me.
I love that you said that, because no doubt I called that guy every single time, because I did a handful of inspections with him, and every time I remember vividly it was like a phone call walking through it. And now in hindsight, I'm like, oh, I probably hated that, but I'm also like, it's also his fault. So I'm like, that's not him. Ain't my fault. Here's another example. This one's just more about presentation value too, and simplicity. We talk a lot about that here at Spectora. You guys know, you've probably both been asked for us to change a million things about our reports, and I don't know if the one on the left is a result of mixing and matching colors, and James, maybe you could talk to the design aesthetic a little, because I know you have a good eye for that, but it's just not the same.
Yeah. There is, whether we know it or not, there's modern standards of design. And if you're on the internet, you run into them all the time, right? There's use of white space. There's, keeping fonts kind of pulled together, keeping colors consistent, all those. There's a lot of little things, and web designers and graphic designers out there, like, they deserve so much respect, because to do this stuff is really, really hard. And over time, we get used to, the thing on the right looks like, if you're going to a website, what you'd expect a website. Like, that report looks like what you see on the internet. The thing on the left can live on the internet, but it looks like what lived on the internet back in the day. Like, that definitely reminds me of, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, very early internet layout and design. And again, that reflects on you. Like, if you're, especially millennials, they're going to laugh at you, man. Like, they're going to show their friends, like, look at how ugly this website is, quote unquote website, which is your report. You don't want to be in that situation. And you also want to make sure, like, it's your credibility that's on the line. And if your report looks bad, they may not believe that you know what you're doing. And going back to the start of this conversation, your chance of getting a good review is going to go down if you got the report on the left. I guarantee that.
That's a good point. It's the last thing you leave them with, and then you're like asking for a review.
Yeah.
Doesn't set you up well. Mobile. Use technology to get in front of agents. Grant pounded the table on that. So to me, web-based PDFs are hard to read, pinch and zoom, making things easy to understand and making it easy to use. We didn't even get into the repair request builder. That's a feature on the web-based reports that allows your agents and clients to pick out the defects to send to the seller's agent to ask for concessions. It's a time saver for them. We have more content on that, but just things that make their life easier, and makes everything easier for you. All right, guys, this has been great. I think this is the last slide of just, we talked about quality at every step. And of course, we're ending with the Don Bill. Shout out to Papa Bill. But guys, thank you for joining on this. I think this is going to be great content for everyone. Definitely let us know, write in the comments or write into us if you have questions on any of this or want us to maybe drill down into any of these topics. Because guys, we could talk about any of these probably for an hour at a time. They're all so important and have details that I think inspectors need to hear. So any parting words, guys, as we send off inspectors into the wild?
Speaking of talking forever, come hit us up on the chat bubble. We're always there. Get a hold of your account manager. They'll hop on with you for 30 minutes and shoot the BS. And then we'll also talk to you about any of this that you have questions on. So don't be afraid to get in touch with us. We're here for you. We love talking with you. So schedule it. Do it. Hey, just do it.
And I would just say Spectora Spotlight. You're seeing it on the screen now. Anywhere you can get a podcast and download it. You can download it there. What I'll say is this is every time I listen to those episodes, all these people are great inspectors. There's no doubt about that. They're really good at going into people's homes and into businesses and doing their inspections. What I'm always shocked by is what deep thinkers when it comes to business that these folks are, and really how much brain space that they save to think about their business and how to grow their business and what their business actually means. Is this me building myself a career and not a business, or am I building a business? All these questions that, Kevin has the opportunity to kind of get with these folks and ask. But, I would just really, as a new inspector, Spectora Spotlight, just start going through the episodes as you're driving around, as you're, exercising, sitting in your house, whatever it may be. It's going to be really inspirational. And I think you'll get a nugget out of, many nuggets out of every episode that will hopefully make your transition from being a brand new inspector to an experienced inspector go a lot faster and a lot smoother. So, fill your head with the good stuff. And I say the good stuff is the Spectora Spotlight.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you for sharing your expertise, your time, knowledge. Great stuff.
All right. Thank you.
All right, y'all.